Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Larry Bird are just some of the basketball legends people look up to and hope to join the ranks of one day in the NBA. And it looks like LeBron James is one of those people, as he aims to beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record for the most points scored throughout his career. And he's getting pretty close to breaking it too. Here's everything we know so far. Starting off with beating the best. Last season, LeBron James officially passed by Karl Malone to claim the number 2 spot on the NBA's all-time scoring list. James is just short of Abdul-Jabbar's record by a total of 1,325 points, meaning that he's most likely going to be taking the NBA scoring crown sometime during this season. Throughout James's 19-year-long career, there's only been a single season where he hadn't managed to score a minimum of 1,325 points, that being the 2020-2021 season, where he was limited to only playing 45 games because of an injury. With a little bit of elbow grease and a spot of good health, James will easily become the NBA's all-time leader this upcoming season. Just another reason why he's the GOAT. On the other hand, who are the NBA's top point scorers of all time? First up, there's of course Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The former American pro player has been dominating this list for over 30 years, with a total of 38,387 points. He amassed these points over 20 seasons in the NBA, playing for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Los Angeles Lakers. Next up, there's LeBron James. King James, the man running for the top, needs no introduction. At 37,062 points, the Lakers champ is widely considered one of the greatest players ever and is often compared to Michael Jordan in debates over the greatest basketball player of all time. For good reason, as this video should have proven by now. Moving on, we have Karl Malone, the former number 2 with 36,928 points, aka the Mailman, is widely considered one of the greatest power forwards in the history of the NBA. He spent his first 18 seasons in the NBA with the Utah Jazz and formed a formidable duo with his teammate John Stockton. Next up is Kobe Bryant. The late NBA star spent his entire 20-year career as a shooting guard with the Los Angeles Lakers. Widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Bryant had 5 NBA championships under his belt. At number 5, we have Michael Jordan, a man who needs no introduction, a legend so popular that he's been immortalized with a shoe brand under his own name. It comes as no surprise that with 32,292 points, he's the 5th name on this list. After all, you won't see anybody tiptoeing in their Jordans when it comes to the actual sport. Up next is Dirk Nowitzki. At 31,560 points, the former German pro is a special advisor for the Dallas Mavericks. He's widely regarded as one of the greatest power forwards of all time and is considered by many to be the greatest European player of all time. Moving on, there's Wilt Chamberlain. At 31,419 points, he played as a center for 14 years and is widely regarded as one of the greatest players in the sport's history. He's the only player to score 100 points in a single NBA game and average more than 50 points in a season. Next up, we have Julius Erving, more commonly known as Dr. J. Erving is a former NBA pro with 30,025 points under his belt. He played a major role in legitimizing the American Basketball Association. He was also the league's best-known player when it merged to become the National Basketball Association after the 1975-76 season. After Erving, there's Moses Malone. At 29,580 points, Malone is a 3-time NBA MVP, a 12-time NBA All-Star, and also an 8-time All-NBA team selection. He has played for both the ABA and the NBA and led the Philadelphia 76ers to an NBA championship back in 1983, both winning the league as well as earning himself the Finals MVP crown. He's widely regarded as one of the greatest players in the sport's history and is also seen as one of the most underrated NBA players of all time. Shaquille O'Neal is next on the list, with 28,596 to his name. Shaq is a former basketball pro turned analyst on Inside the NBA. He's made a name for himself as one of the greatest basketball players and centers of all time and has played for 6 teams over his 19-year career in the NBA and is also a 4-time NBA champion. Moving on, there's Carmelo Anthony. At 28,289 169 points, Anthony is known as one of the greatest scorers in the history of the NBA. He's also played in the Olympics for the U.S. national team 4 times, winning 3 gold medals and 1 bronze. Up next, Dan Issel with 27,482 points to his name. Issel is a former NBA pro player and coach. At the time of his retirement back in 1985, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Julius Erving were the only other players who had scored more career points than him. Moving on, we have Elvin Hayes, nicknamed the Big E. Hayes is a former NBA pro and radio analyst for his team, the Houston Cougars. At 27,313 points, he's known for both his offensive and defensive prowess, often regarded as one of the best power forwards of all time. Then there's Hakeem Olajuwon. With 26,946 points, the Dream is a former Nigerian-American player who played center for the Houston Rockets, and then later on for the Toronto Raptors as well. Back in 1994 and 1995, he led the Rockets to back-to-back NBA championships and is widely considered as both one of the greatest centers and one of the greatest players in NBA history. Oscar Robertson comes next on our list. The Big O formerly played point guard for the Cincinnati Royals and Milwaukee Bucks. With 26,710 points, he's the first and only other person in the history of the NBA to manage a triple-double average for a season, the other one being Russell Westbrook. Moving on, there's Dominique Wilkins. At 26,668 points, Wilkins used to mainly play small forward for the Atlanta Hawks. He's a 9-time NBA All-Star and is also known as one of the most aerobatic slam dunkers in the history of the NBA, earning himself the nickname, the Human Highlight Reel. Next up is George Gervin. With 26,595 points to his name, the Iceman has played in both the ABA and the NBA for the Virginia Squires, San Antonio Spurs, and Chicago Bulls. He used to average around a minimum of 14 points per game in all 14 of his ABA and NBA seasons, and retired with an NBA career average of around 26.2 points each game. After Gervin, we have Tim Duncan. The Big Fundamental is widely regarded as the greatest power forward of all time and one of the greatest players in NBA history. While he amassed his 26,496 career points over his 19-year NBA run off the court, he also created the Tim Duncan Foundation to help raise awareness and fund programs for education and youth sports. Moving on, there's Paul Pierce. At 26,397 points, Pierce played 19 seasons in the NBA, mostly as a small forward with the Boston Celtics. Nowadays, he has made appearances as an analyst on ESPN's basketball programs, such as The Jump and NBA Countdown. Up next is John Havlicek. With 26,395 career points under his belt, Havlicek spent all of his career with the Boston Celtics, winning 8 NBA championships, out of which 4 were within his first 4 seasons with the team. Then we have Kevin Garnett, nicknamed KG because of his initials, and the big ticket for his dunking and athleticism. Garnett has played 21 seasons in the NBA and is considered one of the greatest power forwards of all time, amassing 26,071 points throughout his career. Following KG, there's Vince Carter, a retired NBA star turned basketball analyst for ESPN. He has 25,728 points under his belt and primarily played as a shooting guard and small forward. However, he would sometimes play as a power forward later on in his career. Up next, we have Alex English. The former pro player, coach, and businessman sits at 25,613 points in his NBA history. He played 15 seasons for 4 teams, averaging around 21.5 points per game, and also scored more points than any other player in the 1980s. Moving on, there's Kevin Durant. Not only does he have 25,526 points to his name, but he's also one of the highest earning basketball players in the world, primarily because of his numerous endorsement deals. The penultimate entry on our list is Rick Barry. At 25,279 points, Barry ranks among the most prolific scorers and all-around players in basketball history. He is also the only one to ever lead all 3 of the NCAA, ABA, and NBA in points per game in a season. And finally, we have Reggie Miller with 25,279 points to his name. Miller played all of his 18-year NBA career with the Indiana Pacers and was known for his precision in three-point shooting, especially when it came to pressure situations. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think LeBron James will be able to beat Abdul-Jabbar's record this season? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.